Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of Comics Remixed. On this episode, we go ahead and discuss Valiant selling out of 90,000 copies of Unity #1.
Congratulations, guys.
It's completely unheard of in this day and age.
Also in the news, Brian Wood, but not for good.
For the wood. Also, we talk Marvel and DC, their direction going forward in 2014. More and more what, David? Our favorite word?
Relaunches.
Although not completely a complete 100% overhaul, still enough to be considered a relaunch for both companies, so to speak.
Yeah. And on Movies Remixed, we're talking Thor 2. Why?
Because the entire crew finally saw a movie before we decided to talk about it.
We all got there, people. Thank you.
Not together, but we all got there.
Yeah.
And lastly, in Paparella's point, John has a big announcement for all of you wrestling fans out there. So if you're a fan of his show and you're a fan of wrestling in general, you're going to want to check out the segment. So
I have to agree.
No?
I don't like Paparella's point, but stick around. Now I'm done.
Okay, so all that and more on this episode, the season finale of Comics Remixed.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Comics Remixed, episode 16, here with
Junior.
and always David Sanchez. How's it going, man?
It's going.
It's going well?
Stupid weather.
Yeah, tornadoes up in Illinois. Biggest tornado, Brian Wood. Apparently Brian Wood has no game. It has to get all, according to some threads out there, he's getting a little too rapey with some things. Which I can never get that, like how you get a little too rapey, very like kind of like subtle, almost there, not quite, so you don't feel as offended.
It's just the head.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wow, you're very gentle.
I used to condom.
Yeah, you were a gentle rapist in your experience. No, it's more of like I'm guessing this is more of like the boys club thing. Can you elaborate on the whole Brian Wood story?
From what I understand, okay, now this is not us reporting this. We're not no slander here or nothing. We're just repeating what we heard through the grapevine. Supposedly Bleeding Cool, or not supposedly, but Bleeding Cool has reported that I guess Brian Wood's getting a little bit too friendly with some of his female fans, or at least trying to. The story I read online, not from Bleeding Cool, but from what I gather in all of this, is that a lot of female creators out there kind of show Brian Wood their work, so to speak. I meant in their professional work.
Not God's work.
Not God's work, no, like their writing or their art or whatever. And it's more of, hey, I'll take a further look at it. Why don't you come up to my room? I'm staying in this this hotel here. And then
the suave man that he is.
When they approach, where they get to the room, and basically they don't do what Brian Wood wants, he's all like, well, here, your story sucks. Get out.
Who was that character that Christopher Walken played on SNL?
The one that wants the cowbell?
Leave the room? No, the one that he wouldn't let the ladies leave the room.
I don't remember.
The single man? Who remembers that? Christopher Walken.
I don't remember.
He was like, hey, stay a while. And then they try to leave and he'll block the door. Hey, where are you going? You know, one of those things.
I remember the skit.
I imagine Brian Wood doing that.
So that is the rumor report or whatever going around, is that basically Brian Wood, who is, to my knowledge, happily married with children, is trying to make a deal, so to speak, with these women.
Haven't some of these women kind of come out of the woodwork and start like flooding the Twitterverse with their stories and their hate for Brian Wood?
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, I probably see it like, because when we interviewed Brian Wood, he was really cool.
Yeah,
he wasn't
totally.
Some people have said that they've had bad experiences with him, but when we first met him, the guy was tired. It was a long con day at C2E2, and he still gave us time for an interview, and he was super laid back and joking around, talking Star Wars, talking Conan. Really cool guy. Maybe it's just some jaded fans out there.
Maybe,
or even if
stories,
if it does happen, I could see it like Brian, maybe the nerd guy in high school, now has a little bit of power in this.
I write X-Men. Put it out.
Yeah, show me your titties. Brian Wood. So yeah, it was probably some girl who just didn't want to go for it, and yeah, man, maybe you should have just gone to that level. It is the boys club. Who was it that came out with that article talking about no girls allowed? Was it Todd? It was Todd McFarlane and somebody else. They had they had this they put up this post online talking about like no girls allowed. And
the other name was a big name too.
Yeah, but really that I mean, girls are playing in the sandbox too, and you really can't be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So, but I haven't heard anything from Brian Wood and Twitter, and so I don't know if he's aware of these allegations or, you know, if he's just ignoring them or what. I'm curious to see in the coming weeks what happens.
Yeah.
You know, if he's gonna address it, if there is any truth to it, if it's all false, you know, and this, like you said, this fan is just making shit up because Brian Wood wouldn't look at her portfolio or whatever, and you know, you got to take these things. I mean, let's face it. Like we said, Bleeding Cool reported it, and we all know Bleeding Cool doesn't have the best track record. And one of our other, the guy put himself on the fucking 100 list. Remember?
Yeah. Mr. Bleeding Cool, top 100. Yeah.
Whatever.
Some more amazing things out from Valiant. Unity #1 actually sells out.
90,000 copy initial run.
Go Valiant, man. Go. They've been really pushing, man. They've come out with some really cool stuff. A lot of original characters out, and I'm really happy for them. And I skimmed through this guy. I didn't get to read the whole thing, so I'm not gonna rate the book in any way. But I did read Eternal Champion. Wasn't super impressed by it. I do like
Eternal Champion or Eternal Warrior?
Eternal Warrior.
Eternal Champion's the
Eternal
Sega
Champion's the Sega game that I could beat and my friends couldn't. Anyways. I get it. It's kind of like their Avengers meets X-Force type team. Like when Image was first putting out teams like Youngblood and stuff. That's where I'm gathering from
Avengers
this.
meets X-Force.
Yeah. And then they do a lot of that in the future. I don't know, man. Have you been reading any of the Valiant stuff?
I'm behind on a lot of it. No, I was when they launched. Like the farthest I got, like with Exo Manowar, what are they at? Number 18, 19 now? I think the farthest I got was like maybe 9 or 10. Like the Planet Death Prelude.
Yeah.
So Shadow Man, I only read like the first 3 or 4 issues. I fell behind on it, but it did catch my attention. I was really digging Harbinger and the Harbinger Wars. That was pretty good.
That was a pretty good tie-in to all their titles. You got stuff like that going on. I'm actually picking up Cyberforce tonight because I like that. I thought that was one of the better relaunches that have come out.
I gotta say though, the 90,000 the sellout might factor into the fact that not only Valiant but Diamond has made the books returnable.
Well,
so if you don't sell,
really?
X amount of copies by this date, you can return them and be fully reimbursed.
Really?
So
that probably explains why you have 1,000 copies on the shelf and I have this one right here. No comment. But I still think it's very cool that Valiant's putting out original content like this. You have companies like them. You have IDW out there pushing out a lot of their licensing power. And then you bring it back over to the big two like Marvel and DC, who already have so many characters in their arsenal to use. How do you feel with Infinity, the way it's supposedly going to end, as you're calling it, a new relaunch? Which Mark Waid said wasn't going to happen. Mark Waid, you lied. You lied, Mark Waid.
I'm sick and tired of relaunches already. I get it. Maybe relaunch the title that's been gone for a while. Like, I know they're bringing... She-Hulk is getting a new book. She hasn't had a solo title in a while. Black Widow is finally getting an ongoing. She's always had a couple miniseries here and there. So, stuff like that, I get. But when you relaunch every fucking year, excuse my language, but like with Fantastic Four, they just relaunched for Marvel now. They're being canceled, and they're going to be relaunched again. And it seems now the trend, not just with... mostly with Marvel, but I notice DC does it as well. They tend to do these big relaunches whenever they get a new creative team. Instead of having the book run, okay, here, this issue starts a new creative team, this issue starts a new... Like how it used to be.
Daredevil. Does Daredevil still do it? They haven't...
Daredevil's ending as well. I don't know if it's getting relaunched, but it's ending.
I read Daredevil, that was their thing, like every 15 issues, new team, and you just keep it rolling.
But like when Kevin Smith was writing it, or excuse me, not Kevin Smith, Joe Quesada, Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada.
When they couldn't finish writing it?
Well, no, they finished. That was
they finished?
The 8-issue arc. No. You're thinking the Daredevil Bullseye.
Okay, yeah.
Miniseries that came out. It turned into a one-shot. No, the first 8 issues, the Guardian Devil storyline, where Mysterio kills himself, apparently. That was one thing, and then issue 9. That's I think when David Mack, your boy, he came on for a couple issues, and then Bendis and Malieb jumped on it, and then they had all these badass creative teams, but the
It
numbering
was
kept
getting
going.
really interesting.
It was
getting really
but now it seems that every time they get a new creative team, they have to stop the book and just start a new number one to like stroke that creator's ego.
it's like,
That's
we'll
what it
give
seems to me.
Yeah.
You know, like why does Fantastic Four need to
Not
relaunch?
to their credit,
again?
it's not a complete relaunch. It's not the
Well, Fantastic Four is.
but it's not the,
completely
it's not the
number one.
entire universe.
No,
right?
not the
it's
entire
it's We're not
universe.
talking about a mega event, but
No.
would you say it's enough to say like a shit ton of them are getting relaunched?
Yes.
All right.
Wolverine, who's now got like, he's got a couple books. His book, like I said, a lot of these just started. The Marvel Nows just recently started this year.
Okay.
A lot of them are getting Wolverine starting from a new number one. Fantastic Four has a new number one. There's another Avengers book coming out now called Avengers World. Rumor, I don't know how true it is Uncanny Avengers is going to get canceled now. Wolverine and the X-Men is getting canceled, which was actually one of the best books that Jason Aaron is working on, along with Thor.
Are they keeping the Cyclops team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man.
Which was the team that has the original team? I don't know.
All new X-Men. But they defected at the end of Battle of the Atom, remember? And now
they're in
Cyclops'
Cyclops' team, yeah.
But they were advertising something now where Wolverine squad and Cyclops' squad are going to team up to take down Sentinels. Because they got to hype up Sentinels
so
now.
basically they're all going to converge back into just
Probably.
X-Men.
Probably.
It was like, you know what, everything was cool before. Let's just
But they got to tie it into the movie.
Ah, man.
You know, Sentinels. So.
Yeah.
But since we're on the subject of relaunches and stuff like that, on a side note, I want to throw in, I think it's interesting, Jeff Johns just recently did an interview saying that once Forever Evil is done and wrapped up, the DC Universe, the New 52, so to speak, is going to be kind of going through a drastic change, like stage 2.
Aren't they supposed to be going through their 5-year event, explaining the 5 years?
Yeah.
And is that where you're going with?
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. But it's just, they're focusing on introducing characters that haven't been introduced yet, like Donna Troy, possibly, Wally West, Stephanie Brown's already been confirmed.
Okay.
So characters like that, and it just seems that they're going to go in a new direction. They even talked about slight costume tweaks again, and
Which I'm okay with. If it's a costume tweak, kind of like how Wonder Woman came out in JLA War, like her MMA, that
Yeah.
kind of look. I'm okay with those kind of tweaks.
Speaking of tweaks,
Cyborg, it's pretty cool.
I've got to throw this out there. I think you've seen it. We posted it last week. The quote unquote Ben Affleck Batman costume.
Oh yeah.
Now, whether it's fan made or whether it's a stunt guy in the suit and they're just like promoting the suit, it hasn't been revealed yet. Although Kevin Smith has said, I've seen the suit, it's awesome. Now, here's where I stand with that. Kevin Smith is not going to bash the suit. If he bashes the suit, he gets blacklisted from Hollywood, I think. Warner Brothers will put him on the blacklist.
That's his point.
That's the second thing I was getting to.
He has
that's
a bias, Okay, let's say it's not fake, which we're all saying it is anyways. What's your personal
That's
reaction?
the version I was hoping they would go with.
Yeah, actually, I am too. I
With
kind of like
the
that
black
too.
and gray tones,
No
armor, spandex looking, but yet you could see under it there's like padding, so it's not Adam Westish.
Yeah, like the armor, you get it. You get its functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you don't want to be taken too much into the whole real world anymore. I think
Yeah.
we need to kind of back away from it now.
I think if they would have gave him a muscle suit, sort of the way that Henry Cavill had it in Man of Steel,
or
it was like it looked like
to,
spandex, but it also looked like you could see the toning.
I always reference the Phantom. The Phantom. He had a good suit.
I can barely remember that.
Fuck.
Is it like the Flash TV show suit?
No. Actually, this one was very form fitting in a way, kind of like how Superman was, and
Okay.
it didn't make him look stiff.
Yeah.
The actor's
Form
name
fitting,
is
stiff.
on the
Look at
tip
this
of my
guy.
tongue.
Tip out your tongue.
Go ahead, Carrie. What is it?
I think it's Billy Zane.
Billy Zane. It is Billy Zane.
Oh, you're looking for the actor.
500.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't know you were looking for the actor. Sorry.
Billy Zane. Yeah. But check out the Billy Zane's The Phantom.
If you've got an extra.
It's done in the style of The Rocketeer, kind of like Cap 1 was done. It's a very fun film, and actually it's a very good suit. So I'm happy that they're going in that direction. If they go in that direction.
I don't see why not. If Smith came out and said, and not even Smith, but Zack Snyder as well, said that they're kind of straying away from the Batman armor and the way you've already been used to seeing it in the movie universe, then what else is left?
Batman Beyond?
No.
Yeah.
Well, not Batman Beyond, but I could see it being the way we just showed you, the gray black tone as well, mixed maybe with the Arkham version.
But more simplified.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like it. It's kind of more simplified. The armor one always made me feel like in the middle of a fight, Batman he confused and forget where he put something.
Yeah.
Because he has all the pockets.
Where's my shark repellent?
Like he has the pocket under the other pocket type of
Yeah.
thing. It's like, yeah.
I just thought it was funny. Last night, my dad was watching Dark Knight Rises. It was on TV and shit. And Harley sees him watching it. And I was like, look, baby, he's watching Batman. She's like, he's not cool. I was just like, you're my kid.
Yeah, man.
All right. Is that all we got for breaking the fourth wall?
I think we do. Yeah, I think
Kind of a short breaking the fourth wall there.
Yeah, we covered it really well.
Well,
Yeah.
being it that this is our season finale, we've got a longer version of Paparella's Point, as well as a longer version of Movies Remixed as well. Last episode we talked about the first Thor movie. This one we talked Dark World because the entire crew is finally saw a movie before we can actually talk about it.
Woo!
So we're excited for that. So since those segments are going to drag on a little bit longer than usual, shorter breaking the fourth wall. So coming up next, Movies Remixed. But before that, check this message out from Cary the Cameraman.
Hey, Cary.
Hey, John.
Hey, are you the guy to go to for cosplay?
Absolutely.
Toys?
Yep.
Board games?
Got it covered.
Magic the Gathering?
You bet.
Oh, sweet. Where can I find all this?
Find all this stuff and more on my show, The 101, at comicsremix.com.
That's awesome!
High five. Stay geeky, guys.
Welcome everybody to Movies Remix. We're talking Thor 2, The Dark World. With me here is Cary the Cameraman.
How you doing, guys?
Thanks for joining us, Cary. Really
It's a
appreciate
pleasure.
that.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. And Junior Ruiz. Yeah!
So-
A lot of energy here. All right, man. Thor 2 came out. We all finally saw it. Some differences of opinion going on here. Cary, you want to shoot us your point of view on the movie?
I thought it was entertaining. I thought it had more of a sci-fi bend than I was expecting. So I was expecting a little more, I guess, Lord of the Ring-ish, a little more low-key.
You did.
You like that? So I was a little bit surprised to see a lot of more sci-fi-oriented stuff in it. But I enjoyed it. I just would have enjoyed it more. I
Why
think.
would you have from watching the trailers? Why would you have
The
expected?
trailers
more
didn't
Lord
really
of the
show
Rings?
anything. It showed this big monolith. I didn't know what it was. It's just a big rock-looking thing, and then they open it up and you see kind of like a
Wait,
spaceship.
was it a big monolith and an ape hitting it? Because I'm pretty sure
It
you
very
saw
well
the wrong
could have been. It very well
trailer.
could have been.
Where's that monkey?
So yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. Once again, I found it entertaining, but I would have liked it more a little. Like I said, Lord of the Rings.
What do you think, man?
I loved it.
You loved it?
I loved it. I'm not a huge Thor fan. Shout out to Pat. I'm not a huge Thor fan per
Okay.
se,
Right.
but obviously it's way better than the first movie. First movie I get though, it was needed. You know, you set up the characters, but it was more of a love story. This movie's action. See, and this is why I'm actually glad that me and you are debating.
Right.
Because when it comes to superhero movies, I want to fucking strangle the shit out of you sometimes. Because, like, okay, Iron Man 3, we all know was a clusterfuck.
Oh, it was terrible.
But you still defend it a little bit more than I do. Just a little. You do.
Don't fucking look at me,
Iron
man.
Man.
I did not defend
I
that movie.
I hated
Don't
Iron
put
Man.
me
What
on
are
your
you talking
boat.
about?
But then there's Man of Steel.
Oh, that was terrible.
See? And that's where I just want to be like, I want to slap the goodness into you that was Man of Steel. But I won't. And then now there's Thor 2.
So,
Hey,
Mark
oh.
Wade's wrong.
Yes, I pointed it out. Fuck it, it was wrong. No. With Man of Steel, I still believe that's more of a generational gap
Oh,
going on.
definitely.
You know, with the modernization from a lot of the classics. So
Definitely.
I get that. You got to kind of accept that. You know why people don't like it. Okay, references in the movie, plenty to behold.
Oh, yeah.
Some of your favorites, Cary.
I what do you mean by
All right, Junior.
reference? Yeah. Reference to what? It was
Can I choke now, boss? Can I choke now?
what references? It was Thor.
I'll get the hot hook.
Do it.
All right, go, man. Some of your favorite
No, I mean-
references / Easter eggs.
Oh, they're
Oh,
going
man.
Man, there was quite a few in there. Eric Selvig, the scientist, when he was in the loony bin with Stan Lee or whatever, if you looked at the diagram on the chalkboard, 616 Universe was written on there. I thought that was a pretty cool shout out to the regular Marvel U fans. You know?
Right.
I didn't catch any of
Point,
it.
counterpoint.
I didn't see any of it.
No?
John,
Yeah.
shout out from the camera.
The Doctor Strange reference.
Was that on the board?
Yep. Yeah.
Which he was also referenced in part 1 because of the eye was in the
The
war
eye
chest.
of Amagato.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think another tie-in because of the cutscene with the collector, the cocoon. We have to talk
Benicio
about the
del
cocoon
Toro.
because it's popped up on a few threads, but a lot of people really haven't really jumped on it as far as one of the bigger of the Easter eggs. Junior, can you shoot out the cocoon reference?
Cocoon is the cocoon reference David is speaking of is basically fans of Adam Warlock will remember that he pretty much came from this cocoon, and it's like his birth kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Whenever he has to go and recharge, whenever there's a battle, or at one point he dies at the hands of Thanos, and he goes into his cocoon mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which that could be interesting. Like, which Adam Warlock are we seeing?
If it's there at all, maybe it was just in there for the fans' sake. You know, hey, look, a cocoon. Like maybe
Yeah,
this
is a conspiracy
totally
theory
speculation.
Here. Yeah, speculation. But how much more interesting would it be if this was Adam Warlock post Thanos? Thanos just killed him, and Thanos already has the Soul Gem, and Adam Warlock has to meet up with the Guardians and be like, "Dude, we got some shit happening." I mean, not like that, because he doesn't feel anything, because he's soulless. He just be like, "We got a problem."
David Sanchez is
All
our
right.
Warlock, folks.
All right, let's
Get
go.
your
Come on.
casting.
I'm in the debate mood right now. Let's go.
All right, man. So we got Cary here. He's really calling it more of a Lord of the Rings thing, which that's actually how I felt about part one. I felt it was very like.
I see it in both movies. I did think like the one scene when you were talking about the giant monolith or whatever coming
Right.
down, and when they first get out of it, it's like an elevator looking thing, and how the panels were opening. I thought that was fucking great. But yeah, I do agree with you in the sense that some of it seemed a little bit too Star Wars-ish with the the ships flying. The
But
Well,
see,
like I
that's
said,
actually every sci-fi movie.
Well, I get
But,
it.
but,
No,
but
totally.
the problem was to me, Thor shouldn't have been, in my head, shouldn't have been a sci-fi.
But see, Thor himself
Wait,
was not. This
Shunt?
was the villain.
Shut the fuck up,
They-
man.
Who's the middle
Shut
guy?
the fuck up.
Okay, Warlock.
Shunt. That's a new word, man. I shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do nothing.
No, I get it, but at the same time, that wasn't Asgard. That wasn't Thor. That was the villain.
Right,
You know what I mean? So that's a different aspect.
The elves being like they used to be the hierarchy of the world. They used to
Mhm.
be like the ultimate power. So you could believe that they would have this kind of technology.
Right. One thing I did enjoy was that there was really no personal connection between the Dark Elves and Thor himself. Thor is just like, okay, these are the bad guys. I have to go after them. Whereas the bad guys was like, this is, they have what I want. I'm going for it. I don't care about any personal connection. Obviously, it got personal when he killed his mom, but whatever. But before
Spoiler.
that, no shit.
But oh my god, the way Rene Russo goes out was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
very well done.
That was really well done and very unexpected for those of you who haven't seen it. For those of you who have seen it, that was fucking awesome.
I don't know if a lot of you caught this, but they kind of revealed where Loki learned how to be the master of illusion and all this
Through
other
his
stuff.
mom?
Yeah,
Through
through
the
his mom.
witch, yeah.
A lot of people didn't catch that though, believe it or not.
Really?
I've been reading online on threads. They're like, well, what does it mean? How did Thor say, oh, you got the power from mom and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I can see how in the movie world, that's a better way of explaining it without having to get too origin-y
Mhm.
on everybody.
Right.
Because then that's just more story you have to fill. Even with how you were mentioning the Dark Elves, how there was like this cutoff,
Mhm.
and then they finally hated on Thor,
Mhm.
because then that would have been more of the stuff that they would have had to explain.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I would have liked to seen it without Whedon's interference into it to see exactly what he changed
Okay.
and how it would have been different, because they said they had to have him come in and change a lot of stuff.
How did you guys feel about the style of comedy that was in the movie?
I thought it was
Because there was
I
a lot.
thought-
It
I
was
thought it
really
worked.
peppered in.
I
I
don't
thought it
think
worked.
it was overdone. I think it was just enough.
Yeah.
And-
Especially, Loki stole the show.
And
in
yeah,
terms of
Tom
comedy.
Hiddleston is amazing.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, the humor wasn't to Transformers 2, and it wasn't to Iron Man 3.
There
it
was
was-
humor in Iron Man 3.
Exactly. All right. It was really nicely peppered in. Probably one of my favorite shots is when they're going through the cave when Thor finds Natalie Portman.
Okay.
He finds her in the cave because she's
Yeah.
looking. Or no, they're trying to get out, and he goes through and he sees the shoes.
Yeah, he's like, where are all these shoes?
Yeah, that was hilarious. And the intern when he saves the other girl with the car.
Oh, yeah.
I
She lays
just
it on
I
him.
like the one part where they actually kind of made it
Which-
realistic, where you see the stuff and they go,
Which hold on.
"Oh shit!"
As a nerd, I really tried to explain that because technically the car was weightless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, so it wouldn't
So
have the
for
weight
him,
when it,
yeah. So for it to be able to build up that velocity and come down with that kind of force, would that actually happen?
ruined his whole experience right there.
I'm done.
Nerd high five. Nerd high five.
It was funnier when we did it.
Well, then I do
Well, now it's our thing. All right.
Keep it. Keep it.
Loki. What the ending of this movie?
I thought that was great. That part I liked. I'm like very clever.
Yeah. Get in the shot, man. Get in the shot.
Fucker. Ruin
No,
everything.
no. Loki. Go ahead.
No, I thought it was very clever. I'm waiting to see now where they go with that. You know, is the next Thor movie going to be, you know, Loki running Asgard and Thor having to come back? You know?
I left with questions after the movie was done. One is the end scene with Loki. What happened to Odin?
Odin's on the Black World.
How do you know?
Well, there's a lot of ways you could get through that one.
How do you know?
I know.
Loki in the comic book already revealed that he knows the ins and out of Asgard.
Right.
Who's to say he didn't bring in someone from Thanos' side to take a weakened Odin down?
Right, that's exactly my
Throughout
point.
the movie, he's just weak and he can't really handle it. What if he wouldn't it be
He finished
cool?
his Odin
Actually,
nap.
I'm gonna put it like this: wouldn't it be cool if Thanos just walked in, beat the shit out of him, and took Odin out of there?
Well, where
Just to have that little cutscene, that 2 minute
Where he's
cutscene
dragging him out,
of
dragging him
Thanos
off the
and
throne?
Odin just getting down, and then he takes Odin down.
See, that's the thing, though. It's like, will it be explained? Like, you can hope it is, but that's my thing. It's like, okay, what happened to Odin? When the guard
tells him,
told Odin, hey, there was a body. Does that guard transport Odin to this world?
That's
and
what I
leave
was
him
thinking,
there?
leave him.
And then, obviously, because the guard was Loki, we
Right.
don't know that. Or maybe being controlled by Loki, whatever. But my question is, what happened to Odin? And my other question that I walked away with was the first end credit scene with the Collector. Why was it Sif and Volstagg, out of all people, to deliver the Infinity Gem to the Collector? Who gave the order?
that's what I
And
found kind
why?
of strange.
Well, just like the first time when they hid the ether, the fewer people that know, the better.
Right.
What if they're just part of like this little select
Illuminati.
type crew that they're in charge of keeping this thing safe?
Okay. But why them? And like I said, who gave the order to transport? Because that's something I don't think Odin would just
Yeah.
kind of be
Well,
like...
no. Well, Loki is Odin. What if Loki
Right.
sent them to hand the
See,
ether
and now
over
this is my thing.
to
This
Thanos'
is
hand?
why. Is Loki still working for Thanos in terms of, okay, Thanos helped me get the throne,
But then
in
he kinda-
return I have to give him this gem?
He has to.
Because if you think about it, Loki's not the type of person, if it was all for him, he's not the type of person that would give up an Infinity Gem. Especially knowing what it is.
No, but when you get help from Thanos, that's a pretty big price to pay.
So, but that's the thing. Did he get help from Thanos? Is does this tie into it, or is this something completely different? Is it
But
did
just answer the question.
they cut ties at the end of Avengers?
No, I don't believe
You know
that.
what I mean? Like, you failed, fuck you, I don't need you anymore.
I think
Stupid
once you work for
Asgardian.
someone like Thanos, you kind of figure out that you just can't cut ties with Thanos.
But no, what if Thanos cut the ties with Loki is what I'm saying. Like, because Loki
or
failed.
this was payment.
Oh wait.
This is a
okay.
payoff.
After you gave somebody an army to go take
And he
over
fails.
a world, and half the army gets annihilated, well, you kind of need to recoup those losses.
True.
So those ties were not
Or
cut.
once again, it could have been payoff. You know, hey, you screwed up, so you owe me this.
Now, how much do you think that scene is gonna tie into Guardians? Do you think maybe
I
word
think-
gets out that Collector has the Infinity Gem, and the Guardians are trying to steal it? Maybe they have their own gem. Then now it's a war. Everybody has to go after the Guardians. Somebody brands them as, oh, these guys are outlaws. They've got something that the hierarchy wants. Let's go after them. You know, does it tie into Thor? Does Loki, Sif, and does Asgard get mentioned as saying because they've already had two gems on Asgard? Well, now Collector has one, but they also have the
Infinity
Terra
Gauntlet.
Sack.
I think a lot of those. I think we might see a lot of that in Captain America because Thor returned to Earth to bang Natalie Portman.
Well-
and if he bangs like any god that I know, it'll last for a couple of years.
I thought it was. Now you mentioned Returning to Earth, dude. How funny is Domestic Thor? We were talking about it. Everybody comes in the apartment. They hang up their coat, and he hangs up.
He
Mjolnir.
awkwardly like. yeah. Yeah.
How did it not turn off the hook?
You know
is what
Yeah,
I was saying.
exactly.
Now let's say Odin is trapped on the Dark World,
Maybe he just went to take the rest of the sleep.
and
because
we
he
already
finished
know
the first
that the
one.
Dark World holds some kind of teleport, a point where you could teleport from there to Earth. How much more cool would it be if that's actually a tie into Doctor Strange to get Odin out of there?
That would be badass.
You know,
We start writing,
because
David.
they have the all right, motherfucker.
I wrote that.
Right there. You heard it here. David has Warlock and scripting for Marvel.
You're welcome.
Get him a new shirt.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, to end it, anything else you guys want to add?
There's just,
There's a lot of potential from this movie to lead into other movies. Like I said, I found it entertaining. I was just a little taken aback by the sci-fi element of it.
Okay, now I gotta ask, because John and myself and Shameli went to the midnight showing in 3D. We got the exclusive Cap trailer.
Didn't see it.
Along with the additional full scene of the elevator fight. We got it from beginning to end, and then we got a new trailer that has not debuted online, specifically with the Winter Soldier being shown complete from head to toe.
Okay, do you guys want to talk
Did you
about
guys?
that
I
know
didn't
you
see
said
that,
you didn't see
but going back to that, and you guys have mentioned this in another episode. I mean, I enjoyed Thor, but seeing that
What
Cap,
episode was that?
Episode 15.
15.
15. But that trailer for Cap really made me more excited than the Thor movie.
It did. It really did.
I mean,
There's just a lot more questions to ask because you're taking out the entire Shield helicarrier.
Yeah.
There's like so many questions.
And Fury goes down in the movie as well.
And it goes down in plain sight. People can now see it, like it's revealed.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Avengers where they can save the helicarrier. No, this shit's like it's out there now.
Right.
yeah, that's a movie I'm very excited about. I think that's going to be just awesome.
Thor 2. Out of how many stars?
3.5 out of 4.
I give it 3. Like I said, I found it entertaining. Just
4 out of
It's
4.
okay.
I honestly believe is one of the best Marvel movies out there.
Hands down, I have to agree with you. One of the best solo Marvel movies. Yes.
I actually just say movie. I'm not gonna do the whole solo movie and team movie because even there.
Well, okay, yeah, I give you that because there's only been one team movie.
Yeah, yeah. Because the one thing with Avengers, there was the whole origin thing and how they meet up, and I still get a gripe about the fact that some of them had busy work, while other people were actually doing things like Thor had to fight the Hulk, you know, and other people were like, oh, I gotta figure out how to repair this electricity, you know. So there, now that hump is through, I feel that Avengers 2 is gonna be fantastic.
I look at it this way: if the director of a movie that we as fanboys all think is one of the greatest movies ever created in Avengers comes out and says, "I didn't like it. It wasn't what I wanted."
That's true.
I'm
He
doing
did say- that was a good
better
point.
in the second one. If you guys thought part 1 was good, you're gonna be blown away by part 2. If he comes out and says that, what does that do to you as a fanboy? To already think Avengers is like the plateau. It's up there. So like, okay, according to the director, it sucked. What is that? I mean, how does that for part 2? You know.
All
what I
right.
mean?
Well, for this movie's remix, Thor 2 scored really high with us. We have high expectations for Cap and for Avengers 2. What did you guys think? Hit us up on Facebook. Blow up our Twitter feed.
Fitter.
You guys stay
Fiddler
tuned
Twitter.
as we are ready to sign out. Thank you very much.
have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's the final Paparella's point here on Comics Remix.
Lot of support.
Yeah, a lot of support from everyone else. You know, it's been a lot of fun with Junior and David, aka the Hindenburg 2.0. But, you know, got a big announcement coming, but I'm gonna save that till the end. With me now is my new partner in commentary, Tony. Say hi to the people, Tony.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here.
All right, we're gonna get straight into this. Today's topic: indie guys in the WWE.
There couldn't really be a bigger topic, a more important topic to talk about right now, especially because when your top guy, one of your biggest guys in the business is CM Punk, it's like he had that huge title reign, the Summer of Punk, gave one of the best promos in the last decade.
It was like a rock concert, man. You just couldn't wait for what happened next.
And you're sure WWE wants more of that.
Yeah.
They're probably wondering, man, where am I going to get another one of these? And you look at where he came from, it's the independents, you know? And now they got Daniel Bryan, another guy on the rise who looks like he's going to be getting a title sometime soon.
Now
fingers
he's
crossed.
on the fall.
On the fall, and we'll get to that, but the fact that they are starting to sort of realize, and we'll go over what other superstars are on the roster now that are from the independents, they realize that they can kind of reach into that bag and they can get some really great superstars out of that. So who would you say is one of the most promising independent guys, of course, besides CM Punk?
Oh, as of right now, I would have to say Davey Richards. He's a phenomenal submission expert. I would say he's even better than Daniel Bryan.
Wow.
The man knows so many holds. Hell, he probably even knows more. I would say he's like the Dean Malenko of the indies.
bold statement.
He's the man of 1,000 submissions.
Mhm.
I mean, his matches against Roderick Strong, his matches against his own tag team partner, Eddie Edwards. In Ring of Honor, the man's basically untouchable. I mean, even recently, there's been, the Wolves, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards, they had a tryout match in WWE. Triple H is the only guy that doesn't want him. To me, that screams, you're an idiot. Triple H has gone on record multiple times stating that he wants to rebuild the tag team division. Eddie Edwards and Dave Richards, they tried out as a tag team. Why not hire them?
I think a big issue with that, with letting a tag team come in, although we've seen them kind of, like I said, reaching from that grab bag of the independents, they also just recently built the WWE Performance Center.
Mm.
So it looks like they're going to want to
True.
start developing their wrestlers literally from their seed, from the very beginning.
From the
so that
ground
they
up.
Exactly. So that they can
Yeah.
control their look, their
Mhm.
moves, so that they'll have the WWE style through their entire career. And, it's just interesting to me, because does that mean they're going to close off the gate to the independents? Are they going to stop reaching from that bag?
I don't think they're going to fully close off completely from the independents. I mean, hell. I'm just saying TNA is probably going to go back to being an independent company as of right
I
now.
believe that.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe TNA, they're probably going to be like a step above Ring of Honor. They'll buy Ring of Honor. Who knows? If they're fortunate enough. And then WWE just be like, okay, we'll raid from you guys. If you guys can prove that they're a top talent in there, we'll take
Definitely
them.
an interesting prediction.
Why not? I mean, heck, Hulk Hogan's not coming back. Everyone knows that. AJ Styles is gone in
Right.
quotations.
Right.
So heck, WWE even offered AJ Styles a contract, but they lowballed him
Hmm.
by a fifth.
That's
Fifth,
ridiculous.
man. Yeah.
If you ask me my take on it, I think what's going to say the most for where WWE is going to go with their independent wrestlers is going to be who they did grab for that short period of time. Let's just say hypothetically that they stopped grabbing from the independents. That the few guys that they have on their roster right now, I'm talking about Cesaro, I'm talking about Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. If those players do turn out to be really promising and they go really far, I think then maybe they'll reconsider, or maybe they'll continue to do what they're already doing. I think that's going to be their biggest, that's going to say the most.
Which I'm happy you mentioned Dean Ambrose, because you told me to watch a match from him when he was in CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling. Would you say it's kind of like an ECW for the modern
They
age?
try to be extreme. I'm not going to give them that much credit, but they do go over the top and they do extreme stuff.
Yeah, a fair amount of extreme, and it was Dean Ambrose, the former John Moxley, against Luke Harper, a member
The
of
former Brody Lee.
Yes, a member of the Wyatt family. And I didn't really give Luke Harper that much credit. I mean,
If you see him on WWE, the guy's really big, really tall, looks kind of like a hobo.
he doesn't really do much, he doesn't really have a lot of, like a moveset. He doesn't have a moveset.
Definitely not a technical powerhouse, you know what I mean?
But watching that match, oh my God. I've
brutal.
never seen a person go through just a single pane of glass. I've seen someone go through a window, not a pane of glass.
You'll see it all in that match.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
chairs, tables, thumbtacks, and like he said, a pane of glass. And
pane of
it
glass.
looks a lot better than it sounds.
Thumbtacks on a table, which I mean, people have kind of seen that before, but see Brody Lee go through that.
And even to see Dean Ambrose, as he was known as John Moxley, but I'll address him as Dean Ambrose for the viewers, is the fact that he would do that was even surprising to me, because I always knew that he wasn't a technical powerhouse. Neither of these guys are very technical. They're not made of 1,000 moves or anything like that. However, that's not to take a shot at them. They're brawlers, you know. But I was wondering how far they'd be willing to go. And watching this match, you'll see Dean Ambrose. He puts it all on the line. He doesn't care, and neither does this other guy, Brody Lee, as we know him, Luke Harper.
The only thing is, I have a problem with Luke Harper for one reason. He asked the staff to get his tables for him. I mean,
That
come
was weird.
on.
I've actually never seen that before. He asked them to
he
get
asked,
the tables, and they just
he
do.
asked the staff to get tables for it. How hard is it to call Devon to get the tables, man? I'm pretty sure every wrestler has him on speed dial for that.
Oh, they should. They definitely should.
I mean,
but
come
I
on.
haven't seen that done before. But you get past it. Once you see, I'm not going to say who, but once you see who goes through the table and how awesome it is, questions are there's.
Did
none.
you see Moxley's back though after that match?
Oh my God, that's the biggest image burned into my mind.
It reminded me of when Hardcore Holly suplexed RVD through a table.
Mm-hmm.
And
Lots of blood.
Just got cut. It was like 1,000 cuts all over his back.
Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about blood, when we're talking about weapons and all that really violent, gratuitous stuff, let's take a look at Dean Ambrose and his career before the WWE, because I think it's going to say a lot, or at least it leaves a lot of questions as to where he's going to go. John Moxley, his character, was known for being really controversial. He a lot of swearing, a lot of references to things like alcohol and sex. So it's like, how is he going to fare in this PG era of WWE? Will he be able to take off? Will he be able to have that fantastic career that his fan base knows he can?
I have a feeling in WWE, he's going to have no problem. He's going to take off. Because if he's controversial, he'll be able to make cash.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Junior have talked about this before. When the Shield had their first promo, all Dean Ambrose said was nope. He sounded exactly like the Joker. Heath Ledger is the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I could see Dean Ambrose playing as his character. Just being a legitimate psycho that's out there just to go hardcore.
For sure.
Oh,
if you look at the
Doesn't
old
need
John
to.
Moxley promos, he had
Oh,
one
yeah.
that was, he had just he competed for some championship against someone named Drake. It's kind of fuzzy in my head. But you can find it on the internet, and the promo is called I'm Just a Sick Guy. And it is so, it tells his entire story. He's just a sick guy.
Dude, back then,
So-
he looked like a scrappy-looking hippie.
Mm-hmm.
He was just...
But I'll tell you what,
He's
for a guy
dirt
that's so
ugly.
scrappy and so dirty, and admittedly so dirty, he's got the swag of like Ric Flair, and he's got the mentality, that kind of sickness of like like a young Mankind. Like if you can imagine Mankind's character, like very young. He also gives off this kind of rebel without a cause sort of vibe, and I really like it.
Now you mention
But
that, I see that.
the biggest issue that I have with it is how can you continue to go from there in the PG era? He can't do anything too controversial. So how controversial is he willing to go? We'll have to see.
Let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, who knows? No one's really said anything about the Shield. Their future other than Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they break up? What's going to happen to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins?
My prediction? I'd say Dean Ambrose is going to take off because he's got that swag in ring and out of the ring. He can do promos like no one else. I think Roman Reigns is going to take off because obviously he's big, he's capable, he's energetic, and I think that's what it takes to succeed in when you're not from the Indies and you don't have that ridiculous
in Vince
repertoire.
McMahon's eyes, all he needs
The
giant-
muscle.
Yeah, you need
so he'll go
22-inch
far if not
pythons.
only for that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins, I actually don't see a lot of promise for him. And while in
Really?
the Indies, I loved a lot of his indie matches, at least what I've seen. I just don't see a lot of promise for him in the WWE because CM Punk kind of has that look. You know, he's kind of got that punky. He's got the highlight. CM Punk did have highlights, but you know what I mean. Piercings. They
Okay.
have a very similar look and also a very similar move set. It's a
Okay.
little too similar. So creative's going to have to come up with something special for him, I think.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this because there's been rumors that Roman Reigns is gonna be the breakout star, or they want him to be. Okay, I can agree with that. You know, I mean, there's always that one big powerhouse, and there's always been that one legendary Samoan. Okay, Roman Reigns has got both of those. He's a double powerhouse.
Right.
For Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, I think they're gonna be a tag team for a while. Who knows? Maybe capture the tag titles, but it's soon to be a thing of jealousy.
So you think Roman Reigns is going to break out first?
And then I have a feeling, because Seth Rollins, he's got a great in-ring ability. He's got skill. And when he was in Ring of Honor, he was top-notch, especially with his rivalry against Austin Aries.
Okay.
Dean Ambrose is probably going to get selfish. And that's where like his rebel without a cause attitude is going to go. He's
I
going
can see it.
to start cutting these promos on Rollins and everything. And Rollins is just going to be like, you know what, dude, I've had enough. You want to prove it? Fine. We're going to have a match. And they're going to feud that. And who knows? Maybe it'll be over the Intercontinental Championship. And I'd love to see those two guys in ladder matches. I think those guys can make a giant ladder match feud and make it work.
Well, now we all know John's dreams, and we'll have to see if those come to fruition. But kind of centering back here on indies and where the indies are going, I think it is really, really in question and something that we all should continue to speculate. I think, personally, that the WWE should continue to draw from this track bag because a lot of their superstars, whether we want to admit it or not, are people that Vince kind of drafted or maybe Triple H drafted because they look good.
And
they might have
really-
even been male
yeah.
models at some point.
And
or
the
just
fans don't even
bodybuilders.
really like them.
No, they don't.
I mean, heck,
we're seeing a lot of that
yeah.
with guys like Sheamus and guys like Ryback. It's like
Mhm.
that people don't grab on as easily.
Heck, Zack Ryder, he had like that little bump going when he was United States champion, but at the same time, who else was champion? CM Punk, top indie guy. Daniel Bryan, World Heavyweight Champion, top indie guy. They overshadowed Zack Ryder by a lot, and Zack Ryder was supposed to be this new underdog.
Mhm.
They overshadowed
So
him.
for that short amount of time, it really
Mhm.
spoke for itself.
Oh yeah.
Now, I have one more thing I wanted to say,
Mhm.
and that was about the young guys like Antonio Cesaro. Do you think that he's ever going to get that moment to shine in the business, or is he getting too old? Do they not look to guys like him and invest that sort
See,
of pressure?
For
on
me,
him?
I'm a huge fan of Cesaro. I love what the guy can do. I think they need to give him the mic a little bit more. His mic skills, they're decent. They're good enough for mid card.
Mhm.
You just use a little bit, more work. The only thing that'll hinder him is the loss of Chris Hero.
Absolutely.
Ever since recently, very recently, WWE released Cassius Ohno, aka Chris Hero, from their developmental territory.
Big mistake.
Yeah, that is a big mistake. Like, I wouldn't really say for a singles career mistake, but WWE really could have capitalized on the tag team that was Cassius Ohno and Antonio Cesaro, the Kings of Wrestling. Those guys in Ring of Honor were phenomenal.
One of the best tag teams
Oh
I've
yeah,
ever seen.
I mean the way I see it, they were a new age Edge and Christian. I mean their ring ability wasn't really that of like the Hardys or the Dudleys, but they knew how to work the mic. They knew how to piss off other tag teams.
They had a lot of energy too.
Mhm. I mean, did you hear about their feud with Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas,
No.
World's Greatest Tag Team? That was actually a real feud.
Wow.
They actually
I gotta look
Shelton
that up.
Benjamin and Charlie Haas didn't really like them. So what did Antonio Cesaro and Cassius Ohno do? They go out in the mic, they piss them off.
They capitalize. Like they
Mhm.
have that kind of energy. So
Yeah.
for the same reason that losing Chris Hero is a big missed opportunity.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same reason that not drawing from the indies
Mhm.
is going to be a big missed opportunity.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that reason is the people that are doing the indies on their own and working for like $5, you know what I mean, to
Mhm.
do a show. Those same people, they're not doing it because it's because it's glamorous, and they're not
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it because they're going to get a lot of notoriety. They're doing it because they love it.
Mhm.
Nobody's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
work for $5 a show or $10 a show
These-
for the glamour.
these
It's
are the
because
guys-
they love it.
These are the guys that definitely, and I have a feeling it might actually even come to this, if Vince McMahon or Triple H came up to him and said, hey, we're offering you a contract to wrestle for free, would you do it? These guys would definitely do it.
Absolutely.
These
are
guys
the
don't
dudes
care
that
about
love
money.
to wrestle.
Yeah, they don't care about money. I mean, hell, Ring of Honor capitalizes on it the most. They actually cut promos on WWE telling them that all these people do it for money.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, Roderick Strong does it for money, but I still think he's a phenomenal wrestler. But Davey Richards, he doesn't give a crap about money. And he's actually told people a long time ago he would never go to WWE.
Wow.
But now, I think Eddie's kind of pushing him towards it now, because Eddie kind of wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll
I
see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Let's try to wrap this all up together. My personal views on the indies is that
Mhm.
it's a great way to get your talent.
Mhm.
I think these people are the guys that they'll go hard, they'll do it for free, they'll stay dedicated, they've worked on their characters, so it's like you're buying a fantastic package. It's already in there for you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
WWE Creative, at least in my opinion, recently they've been doing a great job, but they don't always come up with the best gimmicks for
Yeah.
people. You know, you might have a great wrestler come in, and then when they
Mhm.
attach that
Mhm.
creative, that gimmick to them,
Oh, yeah.
it just doesn't, it's not great. And it
Mhm.
might be a detriment to their entire career.
Yeah.
So these guys have already been working on their characters, and they have to stand out to get anywhere. So they're
Mhm.
going to be great characters all the time.
Yeah.
So I think they should continue to draw from this bag. What do you think?
It's the best market you can pick from. I wouldn't say it's the best for a main event. It's definitely the best for your mid card. If your
Absolutely.
mid card is filled with people that you never even use on TV, and you're just putting them on there, bring in an indie guy.
Because at least you have dedicated talent. You have dedicated superstars.
That and all these guys, they have experience. These guys know how to do it. To take a line from Triple H, it's what's best for business. You have this whole pool of people that you can just pluck people from. why not do it? It is what's literally best for business, and it will help you boost TV.
I totally agree. So let's close out the show with a question. And if you answer this question in the comments, we'll try our best to get back to you. The question is, do you believe that the WWE should continue to pull from this indie circuit pool of independent wrestlers, or will the WWE Performance Center be a better way for them to craft their own talent from the bottom up and use those people for their low card, mid card, high card, everything? So let us know what you think, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, and now for the big announcement, the thing that you sat through to wait for. Yes, as it's been said, I'm not going to be here. Tony's not going to be here. We are going to be having our own wrestling podcast, The Lockup. New Comic Streamers podcast for you guys, so Comic Streamers can be free for all of its comics antics, and Junior and David. Thank you guys for paying close attention to me and for inviting Tony now. This has been the last Paparella's point. You've been pointed out.
Hey, Junior, when did Batman and Steel have a baby? Junior, hey,
Oh, my fault. What's up, dude?
what are you listening to, man?
Spinner Rack, dude. You ever heard of Spinner Rack?
Oh, what's the spinner rack?
Spinner Rack is a brand new podcast hosted by Big B, Brian Adams, and myself. Now on iTunes and at thespinnerrack.podbean.com. Check it out for the latest in all your great comic book conversations.
Sounds great.
There you have it. Another episode of Comics Remixed done and in the can. Sadly, our last for this season for 2013, David.
Yeah, man. Valiant, though, ended on a high note. You need number one, doing great on the sales.
Also, Brian Wood getting wood in public for those female creators. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. We don't condone sexual harassment nor rape, and we are not saying that this is true. We are just talking about something that we read online.
But, Brian, if this is you having game, power to you, brother.
Word.
Yeah, Marvel and DC, they continue to roll on with the relaunches, man. You know, let these things take their course. Relaunch after relaunch.
Shit gets old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting really old.
How many
man.
copies of Fantastic Four #1 do I need? One from this year, one from this year, one from this year, one
Or,
from this year, one
to
from this year.
rephrase that, how much are you willing to buy? Yeah.
What else we discussed?
Movies Remixed, we're talking Thor 2. You and Cary, you guys shared your different point of views, which is what we try to bring you. Not everybody's going to love every single movie that comes out. And we hope we showed you that today.
Fuck Cary. I will say, if Turtles or Transformers comes out next year and Cary completely bashes it for the most minuscule things, like Transformers were too boxy, the Turtles were too green, and just the dumbest fucking thing, you're going to see a fight.
For now, our murder rate stays surprisingly low.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. What else, Junior?
Paparella's point. Paparella's point is now ending. This was the final segment that you're going to see. So, John, shout out. I was clapping in like
I don't know. Did
congratulations.
we have to clap?
Not
I don't
like
know. Yeah.
like glad it's ending.
Because
More like I'm clapping because of what I was about to
I
say.
was glad that it's gone.
Okay, well, regardless, whether you're glad it's gone or not, John is not leaving the Comics Remix family. Him and Tony, who you've seen on this segment, are going to be doing a new podcast called the Lockup Wrestling Podcast. You'll be able to find it on Twitter and Facebook and all your other social media sites. Of course, stay tuned at comicsremix.com for more information. But please make sure you guys check that out, especially if you're a wrestling fan. So, hey, shout out to John. You did a great job during this season. We wish you the best with the podcast.
Yeah, man. And for anything else, Comics Remix, comicsremix.com. Catch us on Twitter at Comics Remix. The hub for everything right now, it's comicsremix.com. You can catch the Spinner Rack, you can catch the 101, you can catch our show. Should we start all over?
No, keep going.
Damn it. Okay.
This is good. Keep
I'm just
going.
sad. I'm emotional and I'm sad because it's our last episode. Junior, it's our last episode, dude.
For the season. Not like
For
we're
the
not
season,
coming
man.
back in a couple months.
You'll be alright, dude. You'll be alright. Can you just hug me? You just fucking hug me, man?
But thank you guys for watching our second season of Comics Remixed. Got big plans coming next year. Please stay tuned to everything Comics Remixed, comicsremix.com. Thank you and good night.